Hi everyone, it's been a while. I haven't posted a video in about 4 months or something like that, and this one's gonna be quite the ride because I am not comfortable with talking to a fucking camera. But I want to kind of start changing the way I make my videos because I'm not really having fun, and that's ultimately the reason I even make these fucking things. Is to have fun. Like, I enjoy editing and I enjoy thinking of things I might talk about and stuff like that, but then when it comes to executing it, I get lazy or I get nervous or shy or whatever, and I'm just trying to like throw that shit to the wind, do whatever the fuck I feel like doing, and just failing a lot, and it doesn't really matter because ultimately only like 70 people see it, and most of them are my friends, if even so, because a lot of them are fucking fake snakes and they don't even watch my videos, but it's whatever. They just give it the click and the like, and they're like, I'm supporting, which I mean is good. I don't expect them to watch my boring ass videos. I don't even watch them. But anyways, I wanted to talk about social media today, and also obviously the piece I'm having you watch. And so if I look at the screen and not at the camera, it's probably because I'm reading my notes, because I have a couple of things. And I'm just going to start by talking about the piece itself in this video first, and then I'll talk about social media. It's pretty short. So basically, I just wanted to say that so the idea of this skin, the reason I made this concept is never all my concepts. There are a few, especially when I first started, that I wanted Riot to make these concepts, or like I wanted them to become real. But as I've kind of grown, I completely step away from that, and I just do concepts for my own exploration and my own enjoyment. So like, I'm a fan of Irelia, Syndra, and Orianna. I love them to death. I love Irelia. I love Syndra. Like, I just, especially Irelia recently, like after the Awaken and her lore, and I was listening to her voice lines for this video. And yeah, so I just like love these champions, and I want to make fan art for them. And I liked KDA. I was a big fan of it. I thought it was super cool how the music video kind of became bigger than itself, and like the music video and the band itself became bigger than the game. Like, I remember one of my friends, well, my cousin, she actually saw the video, and she's into K-pop, but she's not into gaming. Well, she's into gaming, but not League at all. Like, she doesn't really know anything about League. And she liked the video and she saw it, and I was like, wow, that's so sick that it was actually able to like transcend our community of gamer, like League gaming people. What the fuck? Like League players. There we go. So yeah, and so I wanted to combine my favorite champions with a cool theme, and that's basically why I did it. It wasn't like, oh right, please give my champions the skins or anything. And also, this is of course great practice because I ultimately want to do this professionally. That's been my goal since basically like since I started digital art. I remember the reason I even started digital art because I was a traditional artist, and I actually thought, oh, digital art's like that next level. Like, if I start doing digital, I'll get closer to my goal. I want to do splash arts because when I first started playing League and they started uploading those amazing splash arts, it was like something that got me super motivated. And that's the reason I even got into digital art, is really League of Legends. So yeah, that's like, this was a good project, a great experience. I did learn a shit ton. Like, I had to search up fashion, like different things in the Western versus what like K-pop looks like. Like, I looked at Ariana Grande's outfits, Katy Perry, Beyonce, Ariana, and Lady Gaga were ultimately the three biggest influences, I would say. But yeah, so it was just a great learning experience, and that was definitely my intention, was practice and my own enjoyment. So that's all I wanted to say for that. Now I'll just move on to social media, which is what I wanted to talk about in this video, because this concept actually got me a lot of attention on social media, which I don't normally get, because I've been on social media, well, Instagram in particular, for like 5 years. And it's crazy because I posted this one Lulu fan art while I was in school like a couple months ago in January, somewhere around there. It doesn't really matter. But that got like a way more attention than I ever usually did. And I'm winded right now because I'm like nervous. Hold on. Okay, so that got way more attention than I expected, and so it kind of blew up a little bit my Twitter following, which was non-existent at all because I never used Twitter. Started to blow up, and I was like, holy shit, maybe like I made a lot of friends or like mutuals, I guess. I don't know if they would consider me friends, so I don't want to like impose myself on them and be like, you're my friend, but a lot of people on Twitter, and one of them, I don't remember what came up, but we talked about like KDA going to other members, and I'd be like, oh, I would love it if it went to my favorite champions because I love them. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna draw it because I want to see it, so even if Riot doesn't do it, I get to do it, so it exists now, you know what I mean? So that's why I started this concept, and then I post it, and it kind of blows the fuck up. Well, actually, the concepts did good, like they got a lot more than I usually do anyways, like 1,000, that's way more. I get like 50 likes on Instagram usually, at most actually, and this got like 1,000. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe it's doing so well. And then, you know, I continue because why would I stop? I mean, I was enjoying it, and I do a splash art, and I post the Irelia one, and it does like way better than anything has ever done. And it kind of like all of a sudden I posted on Instagram and Twitter, and my Instagram at the time had like 300 followers, and my Twitter was getting near 1,000. And then all of a sudden one day on Instagram, and I think it's because League of Legends followed me and liked my post, that I got basically 1,000 followers in like 2 days, which was fucking insane. But this also brought like a lot of the subtle things that I've kind of noticed, and it kind of made them more obvious to me. So I kind of wanted to talk about that whole thing and like my experience on social media as an artist, because I have been on it for a long ass time, but I've kind of gone under the radar, which is fine because well, I'll talk about it later on. So I'm just going to start with my bullet points. The first one is I have a disclaimer, because not everybody has the same goals as an artist. Not everybody, like for example, for me, my social media presence and how big I am on social media doesn't really matter, because professionally they don't like look at your follower count like, oh, how many followers do you have? Oh yeah, we'll hire you. No, it really doesn't matter. Like the quality of work is what matters. Personally, I like social media because I like talking to people, engagement, and all that crap, but everybody has different goals. Like some people just want to sell prints, and obviously you need like a fan base or like a group of people who will buy that to actually be successful in that. But that's not my goal. So I'm just saying, like, these issues are my issues. Some people may not experience them or may not understand them. I guess I should start by saying that social media isn't necessary either. Like, I don't have to be on social media, but I do like it, and it is kind of becoming more and more necessary, as technically like the working field is competitive, although I don't like to see like or be competitive with other artists. It is kind of competitive, so if you're more visible and you have a better network, I guess, which you can gain from social media, you'll be a lot bigger. It'll boost you up. It'll help you a shit ton, basically. Because if you're like a tiny little bitch over here posting little art and nobody sees it, Riot never gets any of people's attention. Because I heard from K and KL, who used to work at Riot, he said that like basically the way that they hire people a lot of the times is like, hey, has anybody heard of any good artists and such and such. So it sounds like a big part of it is actually kind of visibility. But it's still, at least personally, it's really fun to see how other people interact with it and what other people think about it. And of course criticism exists, and that's a good thing a lot of the times. Sometimes it turns into hate, which whatever, it's fucking unavoidable. But yeah, like that's why I'm on social media. I love talking to people and other artists and like cheering them on, because I love when other people cheer me on, so I do it too. I love to cheer people on and be like, hey, you're doing great. Like I love and notice like certain things that they're improving on. I think that's a lot of fun. So I see social media as like a community, not necessarily like something I can like gain, you know, monetarily or popularity off of. I just kind of want friends because I don't really have friends. So yeah. But then there's this thing where, so as an artist, this is one of my bullet points, is you can kind of fall into a trap with fan art. Well, at least for me, because ultimately I'm not trying to sell prints or anything. I want to be an individual. And one of my bigger goals, like outside of working professionally in gaming and stuff like that, is actually to have like my own IP or maybe like my own characters that people get excited about. That would be so cool. So I'm like, I don't really want people to follow me because I make League of Legends art. I want them to follow me because they like my art. So because they're not fans of me, they're fans of League of Legends, and I produce art for their favorite character, so they're like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna follow him. But I don't want that. I want people who are actually interested in my art, not League's IP, if that makes sense. Like, that's the bad thing about fan art, posting fan art, but I love that fan art. I mean, like, every artist, I'm sure, is a fan of something, and one of the coolest things is that when you're a fan of something, you can express it, and you can kind of share ideas or headcanon that you have through your art, which is so awesome. And then other people get to look at it, be like, hey, I like this too, or blah blah, like they get to enjoy it too. They get to see your headcanon, maybe they have the same headcanon, they're like, hey, you know, like, that's fucking me. With League of Legends players, and this isn't all of them because I'm a League of Legends player, and I, like, this is obviously like a tiny percent, but you get a lot of entitlement. Like, you see it in everything, not just in art. Like, Surrender at 20, for example, that's where they post like the PvE stuff, like the new content for League of Legends and League of Legends. And I visit there often, and almost every time, like, I go to the comment section after certain skins are released, there's always like a, oh, why'd they release this for this person, or why hasn't this person gotten a skin, or I want this, or this isn't how I expected it. Like, these arcade skins suck. The thing is, like, they expect things and then they think that they'll get the same whatever they're expecting. Like, you can't really have an expectation of what a skin will look like, and then when you don't, it doesn't look like what you want, complain, because ultimately it wasn't just for you, it's for a larger group of people. So you're not entitled to that skin, you're not entitled for it to look a certain way. But with like gaming communities, you get that a lot. Like, I'm entitled to this skin or like this champion, and I want them to look like this, and I want X, Y, and Z, and you're like, here's the thing, there's like fucking millions of people playing, and everybody has different expectations and likes. So when something doesn't line up with yours, you need to just be able to say, oh, better not, hopefully the next skin, hopefully I like the next skin, and just move on. Like, you're not entitled to that champion or that skin or that fan art. And like, this happens to me with my art. When I get comments that are like, oh, not another fucking Irelia skin, like, I'm not working for Riot, this isn't a real skin, this is just fan art, dude. Like, stop fucking putting your problems onto my shit. It just rubs me the wrong way, because it's like, this, I didn't paint this piece for you, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do this for your expectations to be met. I had my own expectations, and as long as I met those, I'm a-okay. It would be different if I had an employer and they were like, hey, what the fuck is this? This isn't what we expected. Then obviously I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll change it, obviously. But since this art is ultimately just for me and my practice and etc., yeah, I don't like those comments at all. And to be honest, I just think they come off as super entitled. Like, wait, I didn't receive exactly what I wanted. Let me go complain to this person who I have no right to complain to, because I don't even know them. They don't owe me anything. And I guess my final grief, or a grief that I have with the internet in general, and why I've actually had a hard time like making videos, is it's that opinions that are not aggressive or not actually harmful are being seen as problematic. Or like, for example, this video might be seen as problematic just because I'm stating certain things that I don't personally like. I didn't actually attack anyone. I guess I kind of attacked the League community, but it's only those individuals. Like, if you don't do that, if you don't act entitled, you don't demand things from artists, and you don't demand things from a company that you really have like no control over because you're one person in a huge population of players. And the thing is, like, I critique Riot all the time, and let's be real, because I used to complain like, oh, this person hasn't gotten a skin, but am I gonna buy that skin if they release it? Fuck no. So why am I even complaining? And I find like there's so many people that do that. They complain, oh, this person hasn't gotten a skin, and I'm like, would you even buy it? And most of the time, no. They just like to complain for some reason. There is a difference between opinion and hate, and opinions and hate, and criticism, and each of those things are very separate. Like, criticism is usually something you want to prove. Hate is just pointless and you're just trying to cause harm. And then an opinion is just something is very personal, and it's not necessarily, there can be negative opinions and harmful or hateful opinions, but people don't tend to share them, and if they are hateful, it's usually not that damaging. Like, I don't know, I think people are taking others' opinions and being too close-minded with them. Like, instead of thinking that maybe they have a different perspective or they've gone through different stuff, they just automatically want to attack, when you could easily, for example, for me, like, if you have another perspective on these issues and you comment it and I agree, I'm very open to just like, oh yeah, you're right, there's that side of it. But a lot of people don't even imagine that it's an open conversation. They're just like, oh, I have to fight this person immediately since I disagree with them. It's like, it's just an opinion, it's not harming anyone, you know? Yeah, I hope you thought these were interesting, and I hope you liked the splash art and the skins in general. I'm not gonna upload the other two because I didn't record them as consistently. Like, I'm such an idiot and I forget to click record, and then I have like choppy footage, so then it would make no sense. Like, all of a sudden she's a sketch and then she's like in color, and then it turns into almost completely rendered, and it's just like a fucking mess for the Orion and Cinder one. So I'm sorry, but you can check them out on my ArtStation or DeviantArt or Twitter or Instagram, and I'll link it all below, and the music's all below. So yeah, subscribe if you like my videos. I'm gonna be making more commentary videos, like more art with commentary, because I like to talk. So yeah, subscribe if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.
Care to dance? My dance has 42 forms. They'll only see one.